Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 16th meeting, 2021 of the Personnel Commission for Long Beach City College. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. And let me see. Hey, this is really, hi, Loy. How are you doing? Good to see you. Robert, how do you feel about leading us tonight? You're on mute though, Robert. Thank you.
No problem. If you'll all rise, place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
to the
of
flag
the United States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the flag, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. We're going to go ahead and start with roll call. Robin?
Here.
Jeff? Are you back to your computer yet, Jeff? Oh, there you are. Did you say here? Can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? You're not on mute. Can anybody hear him? It's just me?
No, I can't hear him either.
Jeff, you are not muted, but we can't hear you. Can he do it anything by hand or anything? Do we know, Jennifer?
Oh, he is muted now.
Now he's
Let me,
muted.
yeah, let me try.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you want to give us maybe a thumbs up, or you can log back out. And
Yeah, I would
log back in.
suggest signing back out. And
Yeah, Jeff, can you log out and then come back in? Okay. In the interest of time for this meeting only, Dario has a commitment that is pretty soon. So we're going to try to keep things briefer than we usually would. And so I just want to respect that for him. So just want everyone to know. Public comments on agenda items. Do you want to start with that, or do you want to introduce Loy first? Which is better, Jennifer?
Let's go ahead and introduce Lloyd Nashua,
Okay.
our special guest. He's soon to be our fearless leader in human resources as our VP. His official first date is on Wednesday, but he's graciously made a few public appearances. So I reached out to him and said, hey, would you like to introduce yourself tonight? And he agreed. So Lloyd, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so thrilled, and thank you for giving me an opportunity with a leg up to meet some of you. Some of you I've already met before, so I'm delighted to see you again. I look forward to working together with all of you, and I'm ready to dive in head first. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
We look forward to working with you. Thank you, Loy. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay, public comments on agenda items. Do we have any for this evening, Juliet? Any public comments? We do?
Nothing was submitted.
Oh, nothing for us. Okay, thank you. Approval of the minutes. Do we have Jeff back yet or not yet?
Yeah, I can see you.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I got Dario muted me.
He did?
Yeah, that's what it showed on my screen, that Dario muted me.
That's
I
weird.
was trying to fix it, Jeff, but it didn't solve the problem.
Oh, okay.
I've been muted many times. So
And Janine,
Yeah.
we may want to start with roll call now that Jeff is back.
Okay, now that we've got Jeff back, let's go ahead and do roll call again. Juliet, I'm sorry for messing up your whole agenda here. So Jeff, are you here?
I am here.
Good. Robin, are you still here?
Yes, I am still here.
And I'm still here. We are all present this evening. Thank you for reminding me, Jennifer. No public comments and approval of the minutes. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the minutes from anyone this evening? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. Our next meeting is Monday, September 13th, 2021, 5 o'clock via Zoom. Join us if you can, please. And next on item B, we have discussion of working out of classification assignments.
So So Janine,
Yeah,
I thought we laid some of those over.
I wanted to respectfully ask the commission if we can table this item for the next meeting. I would like to have a very thoughtful conversation around
Right.
this topic. I did prepare slides. It is really focused on the rules themselves, but I'd like to elaborate on the process that HR has implemented in response to 90-day assignments, any assignments that exceed the 90-day period, I should say.
right.
So I think this item, I wanted to be responsive to the commissioner's question on this topic, but I do think we'll need more time.
I think that sounds exactly like what we need. Jeff and Robin, what are your thoughts on that? Are you okay with tabling it until our next meeting out of deference to Dario's time frame this evening?
So the motion would be to lay the item over to our next meeting of the Public Personnel Commission meeting.
Yes, would you like to make that motion,
I'll
Jeff?
make that motion.
Great.
And I agree why.
Okay. Robin, are you okay with that? Would you like to second it?
I would like to second.
Thank you. Is there any additional discussion on this?
Not on that item, but I'm wondering when they come back to discuss this item, if there are some other items that can be discussed as well. Would you like me to ask now or at the end of the meeting?
On the same topic or different topic?
It's similar, and it's regarding advanced salary placement requests to the commission.
Jennifer, do you want that to come at the end or do you want that to come under this classification?
So Robin, I just want to clarify, you would like a full presentation on that topic as well?
Yes, I would.
Sure, okay.
Thank you.
And I can touch upon it, some of the factors that we look at, because I know we have a few of those items on the agenda today.
Perfect. I appreciate it. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin. So there's been a motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion on tabling the working out of class discussion until the next meeting?
Sorry, and when is our next meeting? It's
The
just
13th of September. Okay, hearing and seeing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to new business. This is A for eligibility list administrative assistant. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
Is there any discussion on this item?
We received 135 applications for this recruitment. Of those 135, 55 candidates passed a written test that was administered by IO Predict, a vendor that we worked with, and 55 were placed on the eligibility list. The reason the list is so extensive is because we're seeing a lot of need for additional administrative support across campus. And we're happy to report that of the 55, there were 5 internal candidates.
Wonderful. Any additional discussion on this item?
Jennifer, were you surprised about the volume?
No, for anything in the administrative support series, we receive up to 300, 400, 500 applications.
Wow.
It's pretty common.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm just curious, it has nothing to do with my vote on this, but is that because of the ability of, in this age today, there's so many people that just sort of point and click and the resume away it goes. But for us, they still have to fill out our forms. So that's why I was just curious on the sheer volume. But if that's the norm, I thought it had to do more with technology advancements to where people did, if they see anything on any potential jobs, they just send you the resume. But that doesn't seem to be the case here.
Well, we use some techniques like the application window that we actually accept the applications. And then also we have supplemental questions and we use advanced filters to help us with screening down the pool.
Any additional discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to new business B, approval of eligibility list. This is for accounting supervisor. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And is there any discussion on this? Jennifer, do you have anything for us on this?
For this recruitment, we received 13 applications. 5 individuals passed an extensive subject matter expert review. 5 were placed on the eligibility list, and 2 of those individuals are internal applicants.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on the accounting supervisor? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
I vote aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to new business C, approval of eligibility list. This is for applications development analyst 5. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Jennifer, anything for us on this?
So the applicant pool for this was 4 applications. 4 individuals passed the subject matter expert review, and of the 4 placed on the eligibility list, 2 are internal candidates.
Good. Any additional discussion on this item?
Extreme end from my first question, all the way down to 4.
Yeah. Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to new business D, approval of eligibility list. This is for child care assistant. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
And Jennifer, anything on this one?
This was a pretty decent applicant pool. 44 candidates participated. We did narrow it down through a few hurdles: SME review, oral panel interviews. 15 individuals were placed on the eligibility list, and 2 of those individuals are internal. So 2 of the 15.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any additional discussion on the child care assistant position? Hearing and seeing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to E, approval of eligibility list is for instructional lab coordinator. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Jennifer, anything on this item?
We received 36 applications. 8 individuals passed the subject matter expert review. We did place 8 on the eligibility list, and 4 of those 8 are internal applicants or candidates.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any additional discussion on this item?
Yeah, it has really nothing to do directly with this one. It was more for the previous one, Jennifer. And when we go through on the application process, and the only reason why is for the child development assistant, those, like all of the jobs, can be very sensitive, but those, since you're dealing with minors, and just from my institutional knowledge where we've had issues with individuals. So are you legally allowed to really look at or asking if they, potentially other issues, not criminal per se, but just the sensitivity how much information do we pull from people? For example, a lot of times when you go on a campus, you have to go and do a life scan or whatever the terms the individual district uses, basically checking to see you don't have a criminal record. I mean, I'm going to jump to the chase. Is that the type of, when people are coming through the application process, do we get into that detail at this level?
Absolutely, Jeff. That's part of our standard hiring process, the live scan. That's exactly the direction I was going to go in. So those are the types of any red flags that we need to be aware of. We look for that in the background check.
Very good, because it does come back and potentially get you in some legal problems. I mean, after the fact you hire somebody. So I was just curious. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. Just to confirm, we are on F now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. On new business F, we're approving advanced salary placement academic administrative assistant. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Second.
And is there any discussion on this item? Jennifer, you want to add anything on this?
Yes, so I will elaborate more in at our next meeting, but we're really looking for 3 factors. The education is the first one, the experience is the second factor, and then we also look at internal equity to make sure that the salary placement isn't making any major disruption in comparison to our internal employees. So those are the 3 factors we look at. In this case, the minimum qualifications are high school and 5 years of experience. The candidate provided rationale. They have their bachelor's degree and 6 years of experience. So the step C placement, we also looked at internal equity. We did hire 2 individuals at this same step at the last PC meeting. So again, there's alignment and the qualifications warrant the advanced placement.
Thanks, Jennifer. Any additional discussion on this item?
I actually, and this can be brought forward at our next meeting to give me additional insight, but I'm kind of curious about how this occurs, because when we go out with the position, we're advertising for an academic administrative assistant, and we advertise for high school plus 5 years experience. The person who applies has a bachelor's degree and 6 years of experience. So it seems like to me, the person who's applying is that they would be applying for a position that's suited to their talent, a position that requires a bachelor's degree and 6 years. How does the person that only has the high school experience and just the work experience, how do they ever get the opportunity? I'm just trying to figure out, and this doesn't have to be, because we need to wrap our meeting up early today. But I guess what I'm getting to is, when is a clerk a clerk? And that doesn't need to be answered today, but that's where I'm headed. When is a clerk a clerk?
It's a good question.
That's a really valid point, Robin. I'm pretty sure we're going to get into that extensively at our next meeting.
I appreciate it.
I will say that we have a competitive labor market. The candidate pool really varies based on the type of exam that we're administering. In addition to that, as we all know, we're working on a college-wide classification study for our classified staff. I will state that an observation through that study is that our minimum qualifications across the board are pretty low. So we're bringing that up to not only the labor market, but fixing our career ladders internally, our internal structure.
Okay.
So I think that is an unintended consequence of just having to fix our structure. A lot of advanced salary placements occurring.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Well, I appreciate that. And like, we'll talk more about it, but that is a really big concern. And I don't want it to play out when we come to this. I want to understand, and I want the rest of the commissioners to be in agreement that this is where we're headed, and we understand that this will eventually stop. But the bottom line, my question is, when we go out for a clerk, we budget for a clerk, but we're no longer hiring a clerk. We're hiring someone who's actually a clerk 3 in a clerk 1 position. I mean, that's the appearance, but I know that it doesn't sound like that's the reality. It's just a perception. So I'll table my discussion for brevity and wait until September. I just want you to know where my thoughts are. And thank you.
It's a great question, Robin. Thank you for asking that.
And
Any
Robin,
additional-
I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
and to that point, that is spot on, because that comes back to really some of the fundamental questions we had about when people are hired, outside. And what Jennifer said is that our bar was so, well, it was low, and therefore the salary level, and then we come in with someone that is really, we hire somebody at a much higher level, and it just begs questions about what's going on. So that is going to be part, I think, what Jennifer is going to be trying to touch on and try to explain what's taking place. And then the fallout of that in particular was, again, the trying to deal with the funding, the salaries, part of this reclassification study, how critical that is as well. So, I mean, all those questions are really spot on. And getting back to the fundamental questions, a lot of people just don't really understand, and I don't blame them. So I think it'll be hopefully a good discussion to clarify and give people a better understanding, and also to fix some of the wrongs.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
I vote aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to G, approval of advanced salary placement. This is for a financial aid specialist. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And Jennifer, do you have anything on this item?
Yes, this is a good example. So the Minimum
Exactly.
qualification threshold here is high school and 3 years of experience. The candidate has a master's degree and 5 years of experience, specifically in financial aid. And when I looked at internal equity, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 incumbents. All of the incumbents start at step E, and then they go into the longevity steps, G and above. So again, we're not bringing a new person in that would cause disruption to our current incumbents, and the qualifications are comparable. If not, so they exceed.
But you know, Jennifer, and this is why is a person with a master's degree applying for this position? You see, it doesn't, and I realize you're going to give us some background, but I just want you to know where I'm headed with this, because I'm just concerned that the entry-level candidate is never going to get into an entry-level job. They'll never be able to compete. So that's my last comment for this evening, but thank you so much for the information. I mean, this is a high school position and the person has a master's.
Yeah. So it's not a high school position.
It is not a high school position, I guess.
How can it be a high school position?
Maybe I
Or
can
master's.
shed a little.
I was going to say we have a subject matter expert on the line with Yvonne. She oversees that department. So do you have any insights, Yvonne, that we can look into further?
I do. Like Jennifer said, we have work that we need to do in regards to our minimum qualifications. The role of this particular individual is to oversee a lot of the reconciliation of the federal Pell Grant program, which is about 65 million. So it requires a very specific skill set of regulatory knowledge of federal laws in regards to dispersing financial aid, especially because this is specifically what the auditors look for. And we have been cited in previous years for not maintaining compliance. And this really shouldn't be an entry type level position to be able to acquire the talent that we need to maintain the college in compliance. And then just to speak on why we're getting people with master's degrees, I'll be really honest, Long Beach is really starting to make a lot of waves, and we're attracting a lot of very talented, competitive people that want to get on board and be a part of what Long Beach is doing. And so our talent pool is starting to go way up because, you know, people want to get on board. They like what we're doing here and they want to be a part of it.
That's a good explanation. So I guess my question would be, so is this really a financial aid specialist position?
Is what it's titled. I don't think hardly any positions in the financial aid office would be entry level because it's so specialized and it's subject to so much regulatory scrutiny. It does require a certain level of experience. I know Jennifer and I have had conversations about what might an entry level position look like, which would probably look more just like somebody focused on just counter service as they start to learn over time, but it really is not an entry level type position.
Got it. Thank you so much for the clarification.
And Robin, these are all really great observations that you're making. As part of the class study, one of the things we're trying to resolve, and one of our goals is to calibrate titles so that when you hear aide, or you hear assistant, or you hear specialist, or you hear coordinator, there's alignment across the college. So specialist is not an entry-level title that we're using as part of the class study recommendations. It is our 3rd or 4th tier of work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Janine, I'll try to keep my comments to a minimum. I know we're against a timeline.
Robin, your comments are fantastic and I really appreciate them. I also appreciate the input from Yvonne and Jennifer because this is an extremely healthy discussion. I'm just trying to, only for Dario's sake, but
I understand.
The discussion is fantastic.
Thank you. That's the end of it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, but thank you so much.
Janine,
All right, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I need to cut in, but I'll table this to mainly to next meeting. But part of the 5-year lag in the reclass that seems to continue to drag out has a lot to do with this. Like Jennifer just said, there's a lot of things that have been out of step for a long time.
Sure.
But another thing is, because of what I would really like to have, what Robin's been saying, discussions on this, is because overall the district has always, no offense, kept jobs dumbed down and then let people compete and hire way above their means to fill their job. And I'm saying it's wrong or right, but realistically, if you had job descriptions that describe, like Yvonne just said, in that job is a very key role, and it's not technically what's coming out right now for the position. So I don't know the end result, but I would love to have a discussion with this some other time.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Yeah, absolutely. Next meeting for sure. Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
I vote aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to H, approval of advanced salary placement. This is for vocational instructional technician for automotive technology. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And Jennifer, do you have anything for us on this item?
The minimum qualifications here are high school, some college courses, and 2 years of journey level experience. The candidate has over 15 years of experience. 8 of those are certified master mechanic.
Wow. Any additional discussion on this item?
And when you say master mechanic, you know it's not an entry level, just by
Right.
the sheer title.
Sure. Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Robin?
I vote aye.
I vote aye as well. That passes unanimously. On to I, approval of advanced salary placement, warehouse and logistics manager. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And Jennifer, go ahead.
Yeah, this is another good example of fixing the minimum qualifications through the class study. It's a manager role. The high school, the requirements are high school and 4 years of experience. So the candidate's coming in with over 20 years of warehouse manager experience. So we will be, again, fixing the minimum qualifications and just the scope of work outlined in the job description to reflect manager work.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any additional discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
I vote aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to J, approval of advanced salary placement. This is for workforce development program specialist. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And Jennifer, anything on this one?
The minimum qualifications here are associate's degree and 3 years of experience. The candidate has a bachelor's degree and 18 years of experience.
Great, thank you. And any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
I vote aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to K, approval of working out of class. This is for accountant Luis Roa. May I have a motion, please?
Janine, if I can interject,
Sure.
these are the 2 items. The next 2 items we would like to table for the next meeting as well.
K and L?
K and L.
Okay, so do I need to vote on that or just we're gonna do
I'll
it?
make the motion to lay items K and L over to our next meeting.
Thank you, Jeff. And do I have a second on that, Robin?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any one who feels differently about K and L going to the next meeting? Hearing and seeing none. Robin?
I vote aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. So we'll pass K and L on to the September 13th meeting. Is that correct, Jennifer?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. On to M, approval of extension of working out of class. This is for enrollment services supervisor, Susanna Duran. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And Jennifer, anything on this? Am I pronouncing it wrong or is it Susanna?
Susanna Duran.
Thank
And we
you.
have Yvonne Gutierrez. We've invited her to speak on the next 2 items. So Yvonne?
Yes, for this one and the next item, this is just that domino effect we had talked about previously. So the person who was the interim director, I'm happy to report, received a permanent position. We hired our own Long Beach person. So now we're moving forward to post the enrollment services supervisor position. And so we're just extending the working out of class while we get those ducks in a row to get that posting finalized.
Thank you, Yvonne. We appreciate that insight. Is there any other discussion on this item?
How long is the extension for? Is it
I believe it's 3 months.
3 months?
Actually, it's listed here through February
February,
25th of 2022. Generally speaking, our exam cycle can take anywhere from 60 to 90 days. So I don't anticipate that we would need more than 3 months. And that should be reflected here. So
So the 225 date's an outside date, right, Jennifer?
that's way more time than we'll need.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion? Hearing and seeing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Robin?
I vote aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to N, approval of extension of working out of class. This is for financial aid advisor Erica Rodriguez. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And Jennifer, anything on this? Or Yvonne?
Again, just the domino effect. Erica is filling in temporarily for Susanna Duran, who used to be the financial aid advisor, who's filling in as the enrollment services supervisor. Just part of the domino.
Okay.
Yvonne, we really appreciate your input on this. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Any additional discussion on N? Hearing and seeing none. Jeff?
Aye.
Robin?
Aye.
I vote aye. That passes unanimously. On to closing items. This is comments from the staff. May have Jennifer weigh in on anything she has for us.
I have 2 quick updates. Hopefully they'll be quick updates. I'm happy to report that 75% of the class study notices have been sent to employees. As of today, we've sent over 400 notices, and we do have our second reading of the first batch of those results set to go to the September 13th meeting. So we will be doing that at our next meeting. And so far of the 400 notices, we have received 46 appeals. So we're trending just over 10% of appeals, which is not too bad. And again, many of those appeals are just feedback on the job description. In a few cases, individuals asking to be reclassified to a higher level. So we're looking at those carefully. So that's the class study. We'll get into that in detail at the next meeting. Today, we received an email from communications about the Return to Campus website being launched. So I just wanted to announce that publicly. It has a wealth of resources, including return to campus guidelines, some verification of the vaccination process that we're going to be rolling out as well. So I highly encourage everybody to visit. It's www.lbcc.edu/return-campus. And with that, I just wanted to say the target date for returning to campus remains the same. Based on what I know today, if that changes, this is a very fluid situation, as we've said in the past, but this target date is still August 30th to safely return to campus.
Thank you, Jennifer. On to comments from commissioners. Jeff and Robin, what do you have for us this evening?
I have none. He was addressed earlier. I look forward to as we move forward with reclassification. It is 10% is not bad considering how long since the previous one. So hopefully, and the bigger question is what was raised earlier for our next meeting about with all these out of class and explaining things. And I think, Robert, if you just make sure that all the rank and file, they know that this is going to be agendized for the Personnel Commission, because I think a lot of them, they have legitimate questions and concerns, as we all do. And so I think the more explanations, and tonight was a classic meeting again of sort of the things that are happening. And so I look forward to that discussion. I think a lot of people will really appreciate some answers to some questions they might have. So thank you for scheduling that, and we'll hear about it next month. That's all.
Thank you, Jeff. Robin, do you have anything for us this evening?
I'm just curious if Robert and Donna have good feedback regarding the survey, if they're hearing from the employees. Are there any concerns we should be apprised of, or what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Robert. We were talking about this earlier.
Well, it's kind of mixed, you know. I don't want to stick my foot in it, but there's always a percentage that disagree. It's like a 70-30% difference of opinion on the way things are handling, and it seems to be running through. We're trying to do the best for everyone in regards to, all of this. There's always concerns. I mean, from the reclass, from getting it, from understanding how to do it, though we think it's spelled out clearly, there's still questions being asked. And then the return to work has been challenging because of the testing and the vaccine. And it polarized at the school, so like everywhere else. But everyone has to realize there are more intense documentation of other colleges and other organizations doing multiple testing each week instead of single. We've tried to give everyone a fair shake and keep everyone as safe as possible, and that's our goal. Donna, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I was just going to say that the college is pretty much a microcosm of what's going on out there.
Mhm.
We're pretty much lockstep with everything that's going on. There's people who agree and people who disagree, people who are afraid and people who are ready to come back. So
I
no
understand.
surprises.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys keep your finger on the pulse, and anything that we can do to support our constituency, you let us know, because it's important that they understand that's what we're here for. And do invite anyone that wants to attend our meetings to please tune in. They all should know that they're welcome here. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Robin. I just have a couple things. Just a reminder that College Day is, I believe, next week. I believe it's August 26th, if I'm not mistaken. The majority is on Zoom, but
27th, Friday.
Ooh, thank you. 27th.
Friday.
I don't have my calendar in front of me. August 27th, Friday. And also that I believe that there's an in-person opportunity around 3 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, I believe for vaccinated only. So just wanted to put that for heads up for everyone. I also want to recognize that this this agenda for this evening, there's so many things on here that was so much work by so many people in our department. And I just want to thank them. I want to acknowledge all the work that went behind that. And I feel badly that we were racing through everything a little bit tonight, much more than we usually do, but tremendous amount of work from our staff on that. So thank you to all of them. With that, we're going to go on to public comments on, I also want to acknowledge the people that are here tonight. Donna, Robert, as always, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Vaughn, thank you for your input. Loy, if you're still out there, thank you for being here tonight. And I really look forward to seeing you more in depth in the future. On to see public comments on non-agenda items. Do we have anything this evening for anyone? Donna, I know your mouth is moving, but I don't hear anything.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh, sorry. Anyone have any public comments for this evening? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Dario, I hope we got in on your time frame. I hope you're okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, we understand. With that, we thank you for being here tonight. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for always being a positive part of our evenings and our meetings. And we are adjourned. We'll see you on September 13th. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Loy.
Good
So
night,
glad
everybody.
to have you join us. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Loy.